Hello and welcome to our 12th session, and let us continue with our Verge3D app manager, and I am now going to come into my puzzle editor, and the very first thing is, as soon as I click on this indicator invisible plane, I want this plane to disappear. So for that I have to come back to object and choose another hide, and I have to come here to selector and I am going to click on select group of object, and here I am going to hide the indicator group. So when I click on the invisible plane, the complete indicator group has to be hidden. So then I am going to save it. Now the next part is to implement this customization of our character. I want my character to be present in two modes. One is the indicator mode when it enters the AR, and another is the edit mode where you are going to edit its position, scale and rotation. So for that, in Verge3D you have variables. I will come into variables and I am going to create a new variable, and I am going to call this variable as mode, and I will click OK. Now initially when the application starts, this mode, you have one option set mode to. I am going to set this mode value. I will come to text and I will set this value to indicator. So we are going to call this, set the value of this mode to indicator. Here in AR, as soon as the plane is intersected, it should show this indicator group and this invisible plane. All this should happen only when the mode is indicator. I will come to logic here and I am going to add an if statement, and the condition for this if statement I am going to test is, I will come back to logic and then you have another puzzle strip here. I will drag it. So here I can enter two values. If the mode, I will come back to variable and I will select this mode, and when this mode is equal to, I will duplicate this indicator. When this mode is equal to indicator, only then I should show this indicator group, set this invisible plane, and this prompt move around, I can keep it outside. So these two things are going to happen on intersection do. Now what I did, I have added the if statement, and if only when the mode is equal to indicator, only then it is going to show the indicator group and set indicator invisible plane position, and I will drag this hide and put it down here. And the next part here, as soon as it enters the enters the augmented reality mode, I also want it to show. I will come to object and click on show. I want this to show. What it should show? It should show me the edit button, and when you click on this edit button, it shows the edit button. Come back here to object and I will then click on hide, and what I am going to hide is again a list of object. For that I will come back here to list, drag the list here and I will attach it to this hide object, and I am going to come selectors and I am going to select an object here. The first object I wanted to hide is, it has to hide drag move. I will duplicate this. It has to hide drag rotate. Then I will right click it. It has to hide drag scale. So all these buttons needs to be hidden, and apart from this I will add one more item here, and the next thing that it should hide now is, I will duplicate it and put it. This should also hide the ready button. The ready button should not be visible. So when edit button is visible, ready button should not be visible. And also if required, I will add one more item and I will also hide. I will duplicate this and I will hide the percentage scale text also. Okay, and I will click this. So, these items has to be hidden. So, now I will go and save this, and now as soon as you enter into the augmented reality mode, you will have an edit button visible. And now when the user clicks on this edit button, what should happen? This code, or I will do one thing, I will add a new tab and I am going to call this as edit avatar. And in this edit avatar, I am going to come into events, and in events, when an user clicks on the edit button, I will add a slight delay. For that, I will come to time. I will add this after, that is after about 0.1 second, I will come to object and click on show, and it should show me the drag move button. I will duplicate this. Next, it has to show me the drag rotate button. I will duplicate this, and it should also show me the drag scale button. And apart from this, it is also going to show me the ready button, because once the edit is done, I will click on this ready button. So, ready button should be on, and I will duplicate one more here, and it should also show me the scale percentage. So, I could have added it in list. I will come back to object and I will select hide, and I am going to hide the edit button. So, as soon as you click on the edit button, the edit button should get hidden. Again, I will come to object, hide, and I will come back to selector, and I will select this group of object. I will put it in hide, and I am going to select this indicator group, and it will be hidden. And finally, I will come to my variables, and I will set the mode to, this mode will be set to, I will come back to text, I will select this, and this will be set to now edit, means this will be in edit mode. And when in edit mode, AR is not going to work, because we have added the condition here, AR is going to work only when the mode is in indicator mode. Okay. So, I have created this edit avatar. Now, when someone clicks on the drag button, what should happen? So, for this, if you come to event here, you also have one option here when dragged over, not clicked. There is one more event here when dragged over. I will select this when dragged over. Which object? When the user drags over the drag move button, then what I want it to happen is, I will come back to events, and you have one option drag move, and I will just set this, and what are we going to move? We are going to move the Sudhi armature. So, this is going to move, and this is going to move along x and y axis. So, as I drag over the drag move button, the Sudhi armature will move along the x y axis. Now, similar to this, I will come back to event and I will add one more drag over, and when you are going to drag your mouse over the rotate button, then in event I will select drag rotate, and drag rotate, which object should rotate? Again it is Sudhi underscore armature, and it has to rotate along the z axis. And finally, we have the drag scale button. So, for that, again I will come to this events, I will select when dragged over, and this time when you drag over the drag scale button. So, I am going to use the drag scale button. Now, what happens is, I will come back to events and I will select drag scale. The very first thing is, the drag scale of Sudhi armature, I want its to be scaled along the z axis, then I am going to duplicate it and I want it to scale along the x axis also, then I will again duplicate it and I want this to get scaled along the y axis also. So, on all the three axes it has to get scaled, and as it scaled I also want to show a display saying how much percentage the object has been scaled. So, for that I will come to object, and here you have one option called as update object. So, if you scroll down here, you have one option update text object. I will select it because our percentage that we have written in our model is a text. So, in update text object I will add it here, and the text object I am going to use here is the scale percentage. This is the text object, and so if I come to text tab, here you have create text width. I am going to drag this create text width and I am going to add it, and this text in the second part of this there are two tabs here. I will come to text, I will select this text. In the second part, the ending part of this text will be percentage, and for this other part, round up my number, the option in numbers round. I will select this option round. Here a value by multiplying it with 100, because I have to calculate it as percentage. So, I will come back to numbers here, I will select this option, I will drag it and put it next to round, and here instead of plus I will choose multiplication into, and this is going to 2 into, I will set the value of this to 100, and here I am going to come back to my numbers and I will round with precision. You have the option. I will put it in the first slot here. I will come to object, and here you have one option get. I will select this get. Here I am going to get, I will move this to the side. What I will get? I am going to get Sudhi underscore armature object scale. I am going to set its, get its scale value, and from along any of the axis I can take. I will take Z and position 2. Okay. So, this is a mathematical calculation that we are using to get the percentage. So, what we are doing here? We are updating the text object scale percentage by creating a new text where the number is rounded by to a precision of 2 by taking the scale value of Sudhi armature along any axis. I am taking along the Z axis, and then I am going to multiply it by 100, and then I am going to give it as percentage, because in Blender scale 1 means 100%. So, if I have to convert it into percentage, 1 should be multiplied into 100, and that is what we are doing here. Once you have clicked on the edit button, after you have done all the editings, and when the user clicks on the ready button, so for that I will come to events, I will click on when clicked on, and when the user clicks on the which button? Ready button. When he clicks on the ready button, then again after I will come to time, and after about 0.1 second, now the exact opposite of edit is going to happen here. You are going to hide. I will come to object and choose hide, and I am going to now use list. I will use create list with. What all we are going to hide? I am going to add 2 more items here. So, I will make it 5, and the items we are going to hide here is, I will come to selector, I will select this object, drag it here, I will close this. The first object that I want to hide is drag move I will duplicate it, then I am going to hide, drag, rotate, then I will duplicate it, then I will hide, drag, scale, and I should also hide the ready button as soon as the ready button is clicked. Okay, and I am going to change this. Now I will also hide this ready button, and finally I will duplicate this, and I should also hide the scale percentage. But one thing that should show me now is, as soon as I click on the ready button, again I should get back the edit button. So for that, I will come back here to object, click on show, and I will put the show below here, and I am going to now choose this to show me the edit button. Okay, and apart from showing the edit button, this should also now show me the indicator where to place my object, that should be shown. So for that, I will again come to object, choose show, I will put it below here, come to selector, and I will select group of object, and here I want this to show me the indicator group. So this is now going to show me the indicator group. And finally, once the ready button is clicked, I will come to variable. I have to set my mode, which is in edit now, indicator. If you come to ARVR here, see here we have set this indicator. I will duplicate it, I will drag it up, press Ctrl X and cut it. I will come here, Ctrl V and paste it, and I will set the mode to indicator. Here also, instead of adding so many show, I will delete off all this show here. I am going to remove it off, all these things, and there will be only one show here, and I am going to again use this list. I will duplicate this list, drag it and put it over here. So it is going to show drag, move, rotate, scale, ready button and scale percentage. I also want to make the farmer group to be visible. I will come to objects, I will click on show, and here on the top, when clicked on the edit button, I will come to selector, select group of object, and I am going to see that the Sudhi group is visible. And similarly, as soon as you click on the ready button, once you have done all the editing, I want to hide this Sudhi group. So I will come back to object here, I will click hide, and here in this case, as soon as you have done all these things here, I will select this Sudhi group, I will duplicate it, and once you have hit on the ready button, this should get hidden. So now I will save this, I will execute this, and after that I will come to Verge3D manager, and I am going to click on this upload button and wait till this application gets uploaded. Okay, now our application has been uploaded to cloud. I am now going to open in an Android app. So here I will click on the link, I will open in the Chrome browser, and it is going to open now. Now you can see the image is there. I will click on enter AR, and you can see now it is showing move around, but before I move, I click on the edit button here, and see you have the controls. So now I can see if I hold the scale and if I scale it down, see it is scaling down, see he scales up, see I can make him big or small like this, and also I can rotate him slightly by rotating this, by moving it over here, and this will move the subject. So once edit is done, I will click on the ready button, and then when I tap here, see the object is placed over there.